Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Katie, General Manager at ADAC, and we are so excited to welcome you to day 2 of Design ADAC, our spring market. We're going to have some fun this afternoon. But before I turn things over to Jenna and Martyn, I want to just remind everybody to grab a copy of the event guide. Again, tonight we are celebrating our Southeast Designers and Architect of the Year Award finalists at a celebration at Made Goods. And anybody is welcome to come and meet all of those finalists. And then, of course, on Thursday night, we are going to award the winners for each of the categories. But if you want to look back at all the fun that we had last year and see who the winners were, there's some fun photos in the back of this event guide, so grab that. Of course, have some fun with us on social media this week. All of our media partners, our showroom partners, and of course our speakers have their handles are here in this handy event guide. So be sure to tag everyone, but most importantly also tag ADAC. We're at ADAC Atlanta. Use that hashtag Design ADAC this week. Show us how much fun you're having. We'll reshare everything. And more importantly, we want to show the whole world how much fun we're having at Design ADAC this week. So make sure you take those photos and tag us. I want to thank our media partner today. That's, of course, Modern Luxury Interior Southeast and the Atlantan. I want to thank our showroom. That's Paul Plus. We're going to go to Suite 121 after this presentation for a little party. I call it a party because it's always a party at Paul Plus. So join us there. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to publisher Jenna Muller.
Thank you, Katie. Welcome to The Art of Unexpected, Designing with Personality and Purpose. First of all, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to Jared and his entire showroom team. You guys have been incredible, and we're so excited to collaborate with you and for the fun after the panel. Also to Katie, ADAC, Mackenzie, your entire team for making this week such a dynamic week for the design community. We truly appreciate you being incredible partners. For those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm Jenna Muller. I'm the publisher of Modern Luxury Interior Southeast. And in 2025, I had entered a truly transformative new era in 2025. But I had the very, very daunting task, but also a very exciting new chapter in 2015 to launch Interiors Atlanta. Back then, it was Interiors Atlanta. This was 10 years ago. And it started being the fastest growing, the Southeast was growing, so back in 2025, our interiors platform was reimagined, evolving beyond luxury interiors, alone to compass broader vision of luxury living by blending national influence with deep local relevance. We set out to redefine luxury design and bring our readers and our design communities the best of luxury design and luxury living as a whole. As we stepped into this new chapter, we knew we had to do it boldly, with intention, with purpose, and with a cover that set the tone for everything that was to come for now our 9 interiors titles across the country. We needed a powerhouse in the industry to grace our first cover, which launched February 2025. Any guesses on who that powerhouse might have been? This man right here. An internationally celebrated award-winning designer, Martyn is known for creating interiors that are once sophisticated, inviting, and unmistakably distinctive. Where Hollywood glamour meets global inspiration, his clients list a who's who of icons, from Cher to Elton John to the Kardashians. He's also an accomplished author, which star style we'll get into here shortly, and a true visionary whose work has been featured in those thousands of publications, including one of course, my favorite, Interior Southeast. Simply put, he's one of the most influential voices in design today. And while he needs no introduction, because I know you guys are all here for me today, obviously, please help me welcome Martyn Lawrence Bullard.
Thank you, Jenna. That was so nice of you. I love hearing about myself. It's fabulous.
Now, your turn to do me. As we kick off and get into all the fun things, I'm going to scroll through the feature that this cover helped us launch into our new chapter. Can you introduce yourself, your design perspective, any fun things you want us to know, and then we'll get into all the good stuff.
Well, firstly, it's always a delight to be back in Atlanta. There's nothing like a little southern hospitality. And I always feel the warmth here, which is so wonderful. And of course, you have the most amazing design sense. All of my friends here in the South, in Atlanta, always have the most beautiful design and embrace design so strongly. And so it's very wonderful to be here. And of course, I represented one of my lines of my fabrics in Wallpaper and Paul Plus has been so great as well, especially when you buy it. But so I obviously have been an interior designer for, well, I've had my own business for 31 years now, which is crazy. I can't even believe it.
So you started when you were 10?
Exactly, 11.
11.
And sort of, it's always been based really out of Los Angeles, where I was very lucky to fall into, very early in my career, very much a celebrity clientele, which through that allowed me to really become more well known because of all of the press, because of fabulous magazines like Modern Luxury publishing my work. And so it's been an extraordinary journey. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Star Style, which is my latest book, which was really published to celebrate the 30 years of my career and all of the celebrities that I've managed to work with along the way. So we're going to talk a bit about that, aren't we?
Oh, we're going to get into all of the
Yes.
stuff. All right, y'all ready? All right. Well, you graciously opened your doors to your own home for this cover feature back in 2025. It was probably the end of 2024 before the fires and everything. But
No, we were shooting on the day of the fires. Remember that?
didn't want to add
Yes.
the drama yet.
There was literally, I woke up in the morning, there was smoke billowing through the door, which I thought might be good because it would haze me out. I'd look a little younger.
Like you need that. Within your feature, you offered our readers a masterclass on how to add punch of personality to any home. As I share some of the images, and those for the audience who didn't get a chance to read it, naughty. Please share a little bit about your personal abode, as much as you would like to share, of course. Here we're showing you in your living room.
Yes, so it's a crazy story with this house because I had actually decorated this house 25 years ago for a guy called Craig Kilborn, who'd been the host of the Late Late Show. And back then I really had no money and I was starting out in my career. And I love this little house because it's nestled up above Sunset Boulevard in the heart of West Hollywood. And it's like this little enclave. And so it's been the most sort of crazy journey that I woke up one morning, turned on my phone in bed, and the first thing on the MLS, the listings, all the real estate listings, popped up this house. And I was like, oh my God, that's that house I always wanted. So I called the real estate broker and said, I want to see this house. And she was like, it's going to be open on, this is on a Saturday morning. So it's going to be open on Tuesday, there's an open house Tuesday. And so I was like, no, I need to see it. I'm leaving on Sunday. I have to go to film a TV show in England. And I would love to see it. I told her a little bit of the history. And she said, well, let me see because maybe I can get you in. There's a celebrity that they're letting come in at 4 o'clock to see the house. So if you can get in...
The celebrity's you.
If you can get in before then and be gone by the time this person gets there, you can come see the house. So I got there, walk in. I mean, by the way, it was exactly the same as I had done it. All the furniture, all the drapery, it was hideous. I couldn't believe I'd ever been allowed to go that bonkers and do this hideous house. Anyway, but I loved it. And I wanted it, and I could afford it suddenly. So I came out and I hid in the bushes, and I thought, let's see who's coming to have a look at this. Anyway, it turned out it was Melanie Griffith. Well, here's the crazy part of this story. I was having dinner that night with Melanie Griffith.
Shut up.
Yes. And so this is the whole reason why this house is so crazy, because all these coincidences. So we're at dinner, and Melanie goes to me, oh, my God, I saw the cutest house today.
Cute.
It's adorable. I love it. And I went, oh, my God, no. There's no closets. So I know that house. And there's a vicious wolf that's in the garden that will eat your dogs. So it's terrible. It's in the hills. There's wolves. There's coyotes.
Sabotage.
Melanie, that is so not for you, Melanie. Sunday morning, I put my offer in.
Are you still friends?
Well, it took a year, but we're back to doing things.
Well, good. I like it.
But anyway, the house is amazing. It belonged to Andy Warhol. It belonged to Tina Turner. And then it belonged to Dennis Hopper. And there's actually a book about the 10 years he lived in there from 62 to 72. Every major star of that era was in that house. There's pictures of the Rolling Stones, of the Beatles. There's a hilarious picture of like a really drunk Jane Fonda rolling around the floor. So, you know, we're trying to keep that going.
Missed those pictures on this slide.
Yeah.
Dang it. And the feature you mentioned, you're constantly on the go. Obviously sneaking in to houses, looking over the bushes, looking for new things, inspiration, and shopping. Where do you look to take inspiration from?
So I am inspired mostly by the world. You know, for me, can you see me over there, boys and girls? I'd hate for you to miss all of this. And my extra plunging shirt. So.
Maybe one more button.
Oh yeah, exactly. That'll be at the book signing. Depends how many books you buy. Undo the buttons. So literally, I am inspired by my travels of the world. I've been very lucky. I grew up as a kid. My father was an opera singer. And so we traveled the world from like me being, you know, like 2 years old. And so I got to see amazing things. And I think that all of that became my design soul, really. Not even education. It was what seeped into me. And so, by the way, I've never, ever been to design school. I had one day of any form of training, which is why I have to hire all those people to draw and things for me. But and my personality makes up for it, fuck it. Anyway, and so literally it's been a wild journey, but my inspiration comes from travel. It comes from all the things that I've seen. And so even here in my house, you know, I love to mix everything. You know, in the house there's, that's my little dining room. You know, there's a table from the 1970s. There's a modernist light fixture from the 50s. There's Indian candlesticks I bought in Delhi, the 19th century. In the entry hall, there are Roman busts that are 2,000 years old. So it's a real mix of everything from everywhere, and that's what I love. You know, I always tell people that in life, there's a great saying by the Irish aesthete Oscar Wilde, who says, all beautiful things belong to the same age. And so I believe that that's so true. You might have a Roman statue and a Picasso drawing and a bowl that you bought in Crate and Barrel. If those two things are beautiful and they look more beautiful together, it doesn't care what it cost or where it is. It's about how you put it together and how it makes you feel. And that is the art of design.
Any fun dinners we need to know about?
Oh my God, we've had so many fun dinners at that house. Yeah, I mean...
Are there going to be pictures of your house one day with someone rolling on the floor? Maybe me?
Probably you, yes,
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some wild and wonderful evenings at that house.
Okay, maybe we'll tap into that later.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of your quotes in your feature was, comfort is everything and comfort is luxury.
Yes.
This is your bedroom. The way that you incorporate the Andy Warhol rug, I think there's some custom pieces of yours in there.
Yeah.
Tell us how you bring all these textures and still feels homey, and that is your sanctuary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, all of our bedrooms are our sanctuaries, really, isn't it? It's the place where you know, you really recenter yourself. So, okay, by the way, this really shows it's in the mix. That zebra rug originally was twice the size, and it belonged to Andy Warhol. It was on the floor of the factory in New York, and he gave it to Cheryl Teagues, who was my first ever real client. And when we had to cut it down because it was too big for her house, and she gave me the other half of it. So I've kind of had that with me for the last 30 years everywhere I've been.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing kind of history. But, you know, literally, I believe that modern luxury is comfort.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's all about making things comfortable and making things feel emotionally connected to you. And it's the things that we surround ourselves with that do that, whether it's a piece of furniture, whether it's a dog, whether it's your loved one. It's how we put it together and hold it together, and that's what makes interiors so interesting.
Yes, I agree. Love it. When it comes to your home, you said you're constantly changing. Are we talking about big changes, little changes? Like, how often are you, like, revamping your
I'm a
home.
mad and demented shopper,
Okay.
much to the horror of my accountant, especially when those American Express card bills come in. I can't stop it. So, and I'm always buying things, thinking, oh my God, that'd be so great for my client, and then somehow it ends up in my living room.
Whoopsies.
So yeah, but you know, I actually believe that if you see something amazing, because I travel a lot, and so I'm always in Paris at the flea markets, or in London, or in Rome, or wherever it is, and you see something amazing, you should buy it, because you're never going to see it again.
That's what I tell my husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, this bag
Well,
could
it's
never be
it's a little
found
different
again.
than being in Chanel, but yeah, but it's a good one. But,
Is that where we're going after?
Yeah. But the reality is that you'll never find it again. And if you love it, you know that somebody else is going to love it, and so buy it as a designer. You know what I mean? That's been my kind of mantra.
Mantra, I love it. Is this your kitchen?
That's my kitchen.
Is that your fur baby?
That's my baby. That's
Who is
Daisy.
Daisy.
That's Daisy girl. She's
I mean, bold
she's a
colors
Wheaton Terrier.
throughout. I mean, everything
Well,
but seamlessly just goes.
I love green, and so and so the kitchen has this wonderful. Well, the kitchen's sort of an ode to Morocco. I love a little bit of Moroccan style, and because this house is a 1920s Mediterranean villa,
That has no closets and is hideous with a fox in the back. Yeah.
it leans towards a little bit of that Moroccan sexiness. So this has Zilige tile, which is the traditional Moroccan tile work, and then the cabinetry, which was done by Christopher Peacock, actually has inlaid brasswork into the doors, and then I bought in Marrakesh the Mouchrabieh screen, which is the screen work, which was traditionally used to separate men and women in the mosques. And so I used that for the cabinet doors. And so it's got a very exotic thing, and then I've got lights from my own lighting collection in there that have a bit more of a mid-century vibe. So, you know, again, it's like kind of a whole mix.
Do you cook a lot?
Oh my God, I don't cook. Good grief.
Okay, just wanted you to answer that correctly.
Good God, kitchens for making tea and opening wine.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for opening your doors to Modern Luxury. It was the perfect issue to launch into our new chapter, so thank you.
It was so fun to do that. It was really fun.
All right, you ready?
And again, just back to my world travels. You can see there, that's my little TV room. And that is an ode to Istanbul, which is another of my favorite places in the world. If none of you have been, you must put it on your bucket lists. It's a magical, mystical city where East meets West. And it has an amazing culture, super rich history, a super rich decorative history, and a wonderful place, particularly for fabrics. So this is my ode to kind of an Ottoman den.
Love it. I love the door frame. Kind of looks like a keyhole.
Yeah, and then you can see, you know, the keyhole through the bedroom, and you can see the beautiful garden, which was designed by a gentleman who's here today, Thomas Deal, in the front row.
Raise your hand.
Fabulous
Say hi to everybody.
landscaper.
These are all my friends.
And you know, I truly believe that the outside is the art to the interior. So we always want to have a beautiful vista through the window because it brings the outdoors in, but it also frames everything we're doing. And as you can see in that little window from my bedroom, I have this beautiful Annenbeau French wallpaper that leads the visual through to that amazing window with this magnificently planted garden. It completes the picture.
Well, you mentioned art. It's the gateway into the home. So let's get into the unexpected,
Oh,
shall
yes,
we?
unexpected. Oops.
Oh.
Well, there I am again.
There you are. Hey,
God, where's that jacket? I
you.
love that jacket. I need to pull that out again.
So when we were getting ready for this, I asked you what it means to design with personality and purpose.
Yes.
It's all coming together now for everybody, I think. There was a few takeaways. Design is deeply personal. It's not about trends. It's about translating a client's vision in today's world. How do you go about
Well,
taking a
firstly,
client?
I never follow a trend. I make trends, I don't follow them.
Obviously.
And secondly, I don't believe that a trend is anything anybody should ever follow because, you know, trends go out of fashion. We should design for our personality. And I've worked for a lot of personalities in my life. And the most important thing is to capture that and for you to walk into their home and go, your house is amazing, I love it, not, this is a great Martyn Lawrence Bullard house. So that is always my goal, is to capture the personality of the client and be able to make that an individual experience.
And you can tell when we go through this book that
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's what makes it fun.
It's different it's incredible, very talented. Always a dash of humor, which I can only imagine with you.
What's life without humor?
Nothing. Or we got a wine, tequila.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go, y'all. Is the book up? No. There we go. Here it is. Star Style Interiors of Martyn Bullard showcases eclectic, high glamour interiors spanning 30 years. Obviously, you started when you were 11. The book highlights your adaptability and your depth of your design talent. This book was photographed by Douglas Freeman?
Yep.
Okay. When you first started thinking about your book and bringing it to life, what did you want to accomplish with this?
Well, again, it was really just an ode to my clients. Click the picture. It's an ode to the clients. So, as you can see here, I've had these amazing celebrity clients, which has been extraordinary.
How did you tap into these?
I don't even know how it happened. It just, I think because my first ever client was a celebrity, she introduced me to other celebrities, and then the celebrity world is about trust, because you know what's in their underwear drawer, you know what I mean? And so they want to be sure you're not going to tell that to page 6. So you gain the trust, and if you're able to create things that are very connected to them, and for me, as you can see there, in that back picture of RuPaul's house, let's go back 1 second, that, this is RuPaul, the world's most famous drag queen, host of RuPaul's Drag Race, which you'll be able to see me on soon, not in drag, or maybe, who knows.
Oh.
But, he obviously has a personality larger than life. And so he wanted his home to be an extension of not only himself, but to be another stage. He wants to live his life on a stage. So here in what we call the ballroom, for obvious reasons, because there are very large balls, we created this amazing disco room where all the furniture's on wheels and it all pushes out of the way, and you can have a crazy disco party.
Oh, that's cool.
Best part of this is that when I was looking, just to give you an idea of how big that room is, the largest disco ball in there is 6 feet round. It's 32-foot ceiling. And so I ended up, I don't know where to find disco balls, so we went on eBay, and then we went to Etsy. And on Etsy was this place in Idaho, or somewhere like that, in the middle of the country. And it was a lady that made disco balls. So I called her up and said, I need a disco balls. And she went to me, yes, dear. She said, we do them 18 inches, 22 inches, and sometimes people ask for 24 inches.
Hold your breath.
And I said, madam, I need 36, 48, and 6 feet. At which point she went a heart attack. Anyway, cut to, eventually we got them. They arrived from Idaho, and in these huge boxes, Idaho. And anyway, this was the cover of Architectural Digest. And in the credits, I put in, Sparkly Balls, which is the name of her company.
Oh,
Love
gosh.
that. Might be my drag name. And so it's ended up, this little old lady, it turns out she's 76. She was in this little town in the middle of nowhere, gluing disco balls. We now have the entire town gluing away disco balls.
Oh my God.
It has turned into a
That's
raging
incredible.
business. She's shipping her giant sparkly balls all over the world.
Idaho, known for potatoes and disco balls.
Exactly.
These bold rooms start with client's vision, of course. Well, do you want to say?
Oh, this is my favorite. That's my favorite. No, next one.
Next one.
That's my favorite because
I mean,
that
bold.
so this is about creating personality and capturing essence of who you're designing for. So that little powder room, that is a hand-painted wallpaper by de Gournay, and that is silhouettes of RuPaul in 36 different wigs he's worn on Drag Race.
Wow. Wow.
So that's what I mean about making a space personal. That's his little library. The color is matched to an Hermes bag of his, that's his favorite. And it houses more Golden Globes than any other artist in history.
That's
How about that for a drag
fun
queen?
fact.
Right?
Nice.
And where is a boy to put his 3,000 dresses? In this fabulous room, of course. So this was a 7-bedroom house, and it is now a 1-bedroom house with a 5,000 square foot closet.
That's it?
Yeah.
Should have got it a little bigger. Well, obviously the title, Star Style, obviously that came naturally, or was there anything else in the running for the title of the book?
What else could it possibly have been?
Sparkly balls? I don't know.
No, that's my that's going to be in my autobiography.
Okay.
So this is Kylie Jenner. So
Yes.
this was the largest, and still is, the largest interior design story in history. It blew up the website of Condé Nast the day it launched. It got 1.6, what was it 1.8? 1.6 billion views within the first 48 hours. No story in history has ever done that before or since. The largest story before that was 600 million, which was the White House. So it was pretty extraordinary. Obviously, it was the power of the Kardashian-Jenners. However, I'm claiming it as my own.
Absolutely.
But, so this again, Kylie was amazing. She was 20 years old when she called me, about to have her 21st birthday, and said, Martyn, I love what you've done for my sisters and my mum. I want my first grown-up house. She had just, they'd just announced that she was a billionaire. And so I was like, oh my God, a 20-year-old Billy, this is going to be fun. So we set to work. I wanted it to be playful, but I wanted it to still have longevity. And so it was a very personalized thing. Her dining room. So there you can see there is an array of ombre leather chairs.
I love the ombre.
Each one of those chairs was color matched to the best-selling colors of her lipsticks from her lip kits. So a little bit of, wonderful
I mean, you work with
backstory.
such iconic personalities, celebrities. Do you have any regular clients? Like, how do you approach them differently?
What is regular?
Like, can you come redo my house? Me.
Listen, we're all a star in our own right.
You're damn right.
And by the way, stars are the same as the rest of us. They just can't really go down the corner shop to get a pint of milk.
Correct.
Yeah, nothing different with any of them.
So obviously, this is still the same house.
Yeah.
Youthful, bold, glamorous. She wanted it family friendly.
Well, she was also pregnant with her first child. And so this is the family room. And she wanted somewhere where she could rock the baby to sleep. And so we put that amazing Ralph Pucci hanging, well, they called it a sling. It's a little too glamorous to be a sling. It's a chaise, isn't it?
Chaise.
In her family room, so she could kind of cuddle her baby on that.
Love it.
Sort of fabulous, yeah. And there she is. So this is her in her makeup room. So obviously the fortune has come from the makeup, predominantly from the Kylie lip kits. So the one thing is she does tutorials from these spaces. And the most important thing with all of the Kardashians is their homes are sets, because obviously they film on them constantly. And what do you need on a set? Great lighting. So one of the things that we had to learn is how do we bury lighting into the ceiling that can tone onto different levels, that when you're filming you can turn it on and it like sort of bleaches you out, and so you don't see any lines and you look fabulous and flawless.
Yeah, they always do.
And so we've got all those lights buried into the ceilings and things. And in those lights in Kylie's room, I've got to get so confused with all these K's, all the family. They toned 4 different levels. So you've got morning, afternoon, evening, and nighttime for different lighting levels for the different effect it has with the makeup.
Nice. I mean, this is just
And there's a tiny corner of her handbag closet.
That's it?
Yes, at the time I think there were 1,800 Kelly bags. Yeah, and I'm sure there's many more now.
Speaking of another K,
Yeah.
Courtney.
So Courtney was amazing to work for because Courtney had a really crazy house before this. Some mad and demented decorator had sort of gone wild. And so this was her much more serious house. And so I got her to start collecting important furniture and important pieces of art and really create kind of an adult home in the mix of it all.
Because she's got kids too, but somehow you blend this sophistication with the family.
Yeah, with the family vibe. I mean, there's Jenna chairs. It's a very important Jenna dining table. There's Lichtenstein on the wall there. There's Richard Serra's in the living room. A little Damien Hirst. Actually, the piano belonged to her dad, which was of a fabulous thing to add in. But again, it's all about making things personal. But this was a real learning curve because we did buy kind of museum quality things for her, which was great. I said, you buy good things, you're going to live with them and love them forever.
Yeah. For the designers in the room today, what's one question they should always ask a client to truly understand their personality?
What's your budget?
That'll tell you everything about the personality. What's the threshold number that Martyn then steps in?
Well, we can't take on a project if you're spending less than a couple of $1 million.
Oh, perfect. We'll just come over after.
Yeah,
Do mine.
but that's the reality. When you run a big office, you have an overhead. You can spend the same amount of time on a project where somebody like this one, which was for Winnie Harlow, the supermodel, the most amazing model. She's the beautiful black girl that has vitiligo. She's changed the face of the world. She reinstated what beauty is. She's an extraordinary, unbelievable woman. And so usually I don't take any project, again, that has less than a couple of $1 million because we spend as much time as, this project had $300,000 as a budget for the whole house. I haven't done that since I was in my 20s. So, but I did it because I loved Winnie. I thought she was amazing. I actually wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it, to see what we could
This
come
was only
up
with
with.
300,000?
The entire house, yeah.
Wow.
And so it was really, really cool to kind of do that and re-understand that how you do it. And by the way, there is amazing design on the corner of every main street in America today. There's extraordinary shops. You look at things like CB2 and Crate and Barrel and Williams-Sonoma and all those places. There's some amazing things that you can get and mix in. Plus, I'm a huge vintage shopper, and I have friends that are now hooked constantly on Facebook Marketplace. You can find great things for not a lot of money and put it together and make something spectacular.
I'm just going to have to take your word on that because I've gotten scammed.
You always need a bit of stuff from ADAC, though, however, to make it really fabulous, of course.
Well, when you walked into this home, knowing the budget, what's the first thing that you notice and that rest of us might not have caught on to that, I see the vision?
The one thing I wanted to do was, obviously she's a fashion model.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure that we put in great photography that reflected who she was. I mean, not just images of her, like cool stuff that really gave you a sense of place. And I thought we need to do a palette that's old school glamorous, but is easy to mix in. So I always love to start out with a black and white, because then you can layer anything into it. Mm-hmm. And when you have a budget, it's easy to kind of decorate around that. So here you see her bedroom. Oh, one of the few things I made custom was that headboard, which was kind of had this old Hollywood Jean Harlow kind of glamour to it. But those draperies came off of a site, came from the Shade Store. The rug came off of a site that was like an online
table with
site.
balls.
The marble table was from CB2.
Okay.
I mean, so
Okay,
it was kind of a mix of stuff. The vintage lamps, the lamps by the side of the bed were vintage. I found those in Palm Springs in a vintage store. So it was that kind of fabulous high-low thing that, is fun to do.
Well, you definitely.
Oh, and there she is. Look at her.
She
Isn't she
is
amazing?
Stunning.
With that, this is in her glam room, which is her room where she gets makeup and everything done for her events. And we have over 300 magazine covers on the walls in there.
Any yours? You've designed several of Tommy Hilfiger homes.
Yeah, so the thing that I love about, the Hilfigers, I love them. They're dear, dear clients. But the amazing thing about working for fashion people is they understand the constant change of life and the constant change of inspiration and how you want to live. And so I've done 6 houses for them. This was their English country house. Previously to that, I'd done a really mad house that looked like a 1970s kind of disco for them in Miami.
In Miami, the Golden Beach house they called, yes.
So to do this English manor was a complete juxtaposition, but it was wonderful, and it just shows the multifacets of the client and who they are.
Well,
and
he's a designer in his own right. So
he's
do
the most
work?
financially successful designer in American history.
I believe it. How do you work with a client that brings the same creative energy as you do to a project? And
It's fabulous because you bounce off of each other.
Okay.
You can't have an ego. We're in a service industry. You can't think you're better than anybody else or can't think you're better than your clients. And the best projects and the best interiors come out of a collaboration together. So for instance, Dee, Tommy's wife, is Turkish, and so she wanted a Turkish experience somewhere in the house. And so this is their screening room again, which has that wonderful Turkish vibe, using this amazing fabric from a company called Excel. The carpet's cashmere, the sofa is silk velvet, wonderful antique Syrian table. So, but this was a collab. I showed her what I loved, and she went for it and told me the colors they wanted. It was a collaboration, and that's how you get these beautiful interiors, I believe it. That's the entry hall. I bought this incredible collection of hunting trophies that belonged to the King of Bavaria that we found at auction. We ended up calling this the Gay Hunting Lodge. But the carpet belonged to the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. It came from their extraordinary house on the Bois de Boulogne on the outskirts of Paris. So it's kind of fabulous to have those sort of, the provenance
Those
of
connections,
those things. Yeah. Well,
That's
the connection was an auction house, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you had a fashion design brand, what would it be? What's your style?
I mean, I wear a lot of Dries Van Noten. He is an amazing designer to me. His taste, beyond his fashion, his personal taste is extraordinary. You guys should look him up. He's a Belgian.
Who? Say it one more time.
Dries Van Noten. He's a Belgian count, actually, and he has this unbelievable house that's so beautiful. And his stores are beautifully decorated. The one in Paris, there's a men's and a women's, on the Quai Voltaire, are breathtaking just to see the interiors, let alone the clothes.
I mean, you have homeware. I feel like that's the next step. So
Yeah,
design,
well,
fashion.
fashion will come.
Okay.
I have a jewelry
Call me.
collection coming out soon. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing a collaboration with a fabulous lady called Melissa Oderbash, who's a swimwear designer. And so, gentlemen, get ready. You're going to be wearing my print soon, wrapped around your bits and pieces. It's going to be fabulous.
I have someone for you.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sir Elton John, what was your
amazing.
first thought when you got that call? Were you guys already friends?
I mean, it sounds crazy. I met them on another friend's yacht in the south of France at the Cannes Film Festival, actually.
This is totally a perfect story. That's totally normal. I don't know why you think that's weird.
And so Elton and I are 2 days apart, our birthdays.
Oh, really?
So, Aries, when Aries meet, they always, lock horns and love each other immediately. So we kind of instantly clicked, and it's become the most amazing thing because I've done 3 houses for them. Elton has the world's largest private photography collection. He was the first person ever to spend $1 million on a photograph, which he bought Man Ray's glass tier, which just shows you how smart he is. That photograph's now worth $10 million. But, and so I got to really understand the art of photography and now have a great passion for it through him. And we decorated around the art collection. This is actually the current house they live in Los Angeles. Well, they have 7 houses, but this is the one in LA that they use when they're in America now. And this is the dining room. So this is all black lacquered in a kind of a brushed black lacquer. This is done particularly because the photographs on the wall are William Eggleston's, and they're some of the most important William Eggleston's outside of a museum. They're probably worth $1 million each, those photographs. And so they're in this quite dark room because they're color photographs, and you have to take great care with color photography because it does fade in the sun. So that's his little dining room.
Yeah, he has an extensive art collection, so I can imagine.
Most of it was housed here.
Really?
He had 3 floors of a building here in Atlanta, and 2 of those floors were used to house his art collection. He's actually sold that, I think, last year now. But this is the bedroom. So the bedroom, all the photography in the bedroom are Robert Mapplethorpe's. They're all the flowers, which are the most important of Mapplethorpe's works ever, which is pretty extraordinary. It's so funny. They've got almost like condoms, these sort of plastic sheaths that go over them as soon as they leave, so that we stop the light going on them.
Some people say less is more. Others say more is more. What's your take?
Or what do you think?
More is more. Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Oh, so this is a fabulous house. This is Cappard House. It's in County Laois in Ireland, which is about an hour and a half from Dublin. And these are wonderful clients of mine. They first hired me to do a house in Providence, Rhode Island, and then a cottage in Newport, which is not really a cottage, it had 14 bedrooms. But this was...
Hotel.
So my client's wife woke up one night and told her husband that she'd had a dream and realized that she was Irish in a previous life. So my client, she was 39 at the time, my client decided to buy her a 26-bedroom, 250-acre mansion in Ireland for her 40th birthday present.
40th.
So this is Cappard House. So we did an extensive restoration. Now, it is pretty extraordinary that people want to live this way in this day and age. But it was an amazing project because I got to travel the world, the auction houses of the world, literally of the world, to bring back Irish furniture to Ireland. So there's spectacular 18th century things, 19th century things by some of the most important Irish furniture makers. For instance, there's an incredible mirror in that dining room there, which is a $500,000 mirror by the most famous mirror maker in history who came out of Dublin. But I found that mirror in Portugal.
Oh, wow.
So we brought things from I even brought things from Australia back to Ireland. It was pretty wild. That's the library. The library has this beautiful de Gournay paper again, which is called the Yves Saint Laurent wallpaper because it was originally created for Yves Saint Laurent for his apartment in Paris. And this is a crazy story that the clients wanted to move into this house and have Christmas there, the year of her 40th birthday. And I had ordered this paper, but also the Prince and Princess of Wales had ordered this paper for their private apartments in Kensington Palace. And I had to very secretly plead and
With your charm.
charm de Gournay to let me have that. That was supposed to be in Kensington Palace. I managed to get it first. So it was kind of amazing.
Must have a way with words.
I think it's just I ordered more paper than the royal family do.
As some of these projects start changing aesthetic, I'm going to ask some rapid fire questions.
Yeah,
You
go
ready?
on, yeah.
All right, minimalism or maximalism?
Maximalism.
Okay. Natural colors or bold colors?
A little bit of both.
I can see that in your own home.
Depending on my mood.
Depending on your mood. Vintage or modern?
Oh, vintage.
Okay. What's your design guilty pleasure?
A really big budget.
I want to go shopping with you. So this changes. This is gorgeous.
This is in Mexico, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for the guy that created eBay, and this is his house in Cabo. And it was an ode to the famous mid-century Mexican furniture designers, of which a few people know about, but they were most amazing Mexican furniture designers, particularly in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But this is mixed with a little bit of Brazilian too, because I liked the way they all worked together. This is the bedroom, has this wonderful meditation terrace off of it with these sculptural cactus and that kind of fabulous hanging chair in the middle of it. And of course, no house in Mexico is complete without a tequila bar.
Yes.
This house ended up with 8 bars on different floors, but that's the little tequila tasting one.
Can you just define your design style in 3 words?
Fabulous, delicious,
Expensive.
and expensive.
Since you said tequila bar, go-to cocktail.
Gin and tonic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Brit, you know. Plus, we do have a gin company called Bullard's Gin, of which I will be
When is this?
showing you all later.
Did we just get a exclusive?
Yeah, actually, we can't launch it until next year because of that horrific tariffs that are going on right now. But hopefully that'll end soon, and we'll have the gin. The gin company has been in my family since 1890.
I have a media company you should talk to about this.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it florally? Is it Christmassy? What is it?
The one thing I'm going to tell you is it just won top taste test in Europe for gins, which is pretty wild because everyone and their uncle seems to have a gin right now. So there's 3 different.
But it's not Martyn. It's
One-
Bullard gin.
One's very botanical, one's called Coastal, and it has this very crisp, almost sea breeze taste to it. They're fabulous.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of coastal,
This is
that
this is
staircase
this
is
is
art
Hawaii.
itself. Hawaii.
So this is in Hawaii, and on the island of Maui, and this is on the most famous body surfing beach, possibly in the world, and kite surfing also on that beach. So the staircases, you can see, are designed to look like the backbone of a fish.
Yep.
So I wanted to have that wonderful experience within this space, and use lots of natural materials. It's all in koa wood, and a guy on the island carved this for me.
Wow.
He's now 80, which is pretty extraordinary. And then the other main thing during the early 20th century, which was the main export from Maui, was rope making. And so I had, the handrail all done in rope as a nod to the island.
Yep. Is this a bedroom in the home?
That's a bedroom in the home, yeah. Color. Always loved bursts of color. Each bedroom had a different color.
Gotcha.
As an ode to the tropicalness of the place.
Yep. Well, I'm certain I was an Italian mermaid in my past life, so this little treehouse seems to be where it's.
When I did this house, it was the owner was single, and that
Is this a different house, or is this
it's
still
the same
Hawaii?
house.
Okay.
And so the ocean comes in under that at night,
yes.
and that was his love shack. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's where I lived my mermaid life. Did the same guy build those stairs as the stairs on the inside?
Yeah, the same guy. Isn't that amazing? That was all carved out of one tree trunk.
That's
Yeah.
a big old tree.
Yeah.
All right, the unexpected elements. You ready?
Yeah, by the way, this is a hotel, a couple of hotels
Yeah.
in California, all of them. Go on.
Lots of punch of color. What's one unexpected element every room should have?
Well, I tell you the most important thing is a dimmer switch.
No dimmer.
A dimmer. You have to have a dimmer.
Yeah,
Kidding me?
absolutely. Yeah.
The most important
You
thing.
people better get some
I don't
dimmers.
care where you live, what you do, you need a dimmer switch. It's all about turning the lights down.
Oh, not like the turning one.
And lighting a candle. It changes everything.
Sets the
Lighting
mood.
is everything. You could have the most beautiful room with the most beautiful things in it, and if it's overlit, it's ruined. So $20, the best thing you could ever invest, a dimmer switch.
What's one material you're loving right now?
What do I love right now? I'm really loving very fine wool. Very fine. There's all these new beautiful, very fine sateen wools that, as drapery, hang in the most magnificent way. Okay. Forever I've used linen because I love the texture of linen. Living in California, we love natural fabrics. But these new wools are so beautiful, just the essence of the way they hang. So I'm loving a lot of those.
Okay. I know you're not a trends guy, but what's one thing that you're seeing right now that's totally overrated?
Well, I can't look at another piece of boucle, especially if it's cream. You know what I mean? We've just done it. We've had it.
Well, you've worked with some pretty spectacular people, but dream client, living or past, that you would love to create for?
Wow.
It can be me.
Is it you?
Is it me?
Is it you? It's you. Gosh, who would I love to work for? The most extraordinary thing is that in my career, I've ended up working for almost everybody I ever, kind of loved. It's been wild. I have a couple of clients right now that we're sort of playing around with contracts that would be really fantastic if it all comes off, because they're really great and sort of have got a really cool edge to them, which is, as a creative, you want other creative people where you can come up with something fantastic.
So hypothetically, your dream client is
you
signed an NDA, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm not going to mention those names because we'll mention them when that all happens. But one thing I've always wanted to do, though, actually, is to do a private island. I've never done a whole private island. I've done houses on private islands, but the idea of going in and creating a whole island.
I'm in VBIs.
Would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
From the houses to the guest houses to looking at the landscape to how it interacts with the beach. I think that would be
Just
magical.
all blends in like a jungle.
Yeah, that would be a magical thing to do.
Let's do it together.
So if
We'll
anybody's
collab.
got an island here,
We'll be
I can give you a deal.
The gin island of the VBIs.
Gin island.
Kenny
My services
Chesney won't even know what hit
My
him.
services come with a bottle of gin on the side.
See, this is perfect. Okay. What's one designed personal design indulgence that you'll never give up? Obviously, budget, shop, but
Personal diet, well, you know, at the end of the day, art is everything in a room because it is our true way of adding our personality into a space. Okay. Art tells people when they look at it who you are, and it gives an in-depth eye into not only your character but into your passion. You can look at a piece of art and it says so many different things to each person. And so for me, art's such an important thing, and so I constantly am buying something or the other that pulls me in for some reason. And by the way, it can cost nothing. It's just what your personal attachment is, what you feel inside when you look at something. Very important.
Yeah. Your work is globally inspired. What's one destination that you completely changed how you approach design or has infused into your design?
Well, actually, when you guys will come to Paul Plus afterwards to look at, for a little drinky, we have, in my collection, my first collection was inspired by my first trip to Istanbul, where I was mesmerized by the culture and by the decorative arts. And so I have this wonderful collection with Suzanne's and these beautiful sort of flowers that I had taken from carvings in the Topkapi Palace. And so that was the first great inspiration point. I think India's been a great inspiration because of the colors and the joy in their freedom of design. Obviously, Morocco, I love it, the vibes of Moroccan infusion. And of course, growing up in England, even though truthfully though, I'm actually half French and half Italian, but born in England. Although when I did that,
where in Italy?
What's that? When you did that 23andMe, I came back 1% Chinese.
You would think I would be. You got my cheeks.
But you know the maddest thing? I'd had a takeout the night before. I had chow mein for dinner. I swear it was that chow mein.
What percent Italian?
Well, I'm about 70% Northern European, which is Italian. Yeah. And born in England, so I'm kind of like a European cocktail, shaken but not stirred. So made mostly with gin, of course.
Gin, of course.
Or
limoncello.
I think that there's that European essence is really there, and also growing up in England, England once having been a great empire, where we ruled India and Africa and all of those places. All those English interiors, particularly those great English country houses, have extraordinary collections of maybe it's a Moroccan table, an Indian rug, a Persian screen, all mixed in with sort of like English florals and chintz furniture and everything. So England was a great melting pot of all of those decorative themes, and that is what my interiors are. They're eclectic, they're esoteric, they're mixtures of everything, and I think probably really that comes from growing up in the UK.
Love it. Cher, of course, is one of your close friends. She wrote the foreword to the book.
I must get the name of her surgeon. Look at that face.
It doesn't age.
79, boys and girls, and barely retouched.
Jeez, wow.
No, she's amazing. I always say, if she hadn't been, a megastar, she would have been an interior designer. She used to make me go to her house at 11:30 p.m. after she'd come off the stage and get in bed with her and go through fabric samples for half an hour before she fell asleep. It was so great. Now, who can say they've been in bed with Cher? But yeah, I mean, isn't that wild? But she's so passionate about interiors.
She was highly involved in this project as a co-creator.
Yeah, we were in bed looking at fabric samples, yes.
So working with a friend versus just another celebrity client, any butting heads, or you guys just
Oh my God,
she's
she's really stubborn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but I kind of love that about her. She's
You
not...
aren't at all, though.
What? How very dare you, madam. No, she literally is... she knows what she wants. She doesn't know how to get there, so that's why she needs a designer to help her. There, you can see in her living room, the ceiling is taken from a ceiling in the Alhambra Palace in Spain. The whole house was originally designed with a kind of... She went to Venice and fell in love with Venice and has this wonderful Venetian experience, the architecture. But the living room we redid to have this sort of Alhambra Spanish Andalusian vibe to it. And this is her bedroom. And the bed, which is fantastic, which I bought at an MGM movie backlot sale,
Wow.
belonged to Natasha Rambova. And Natasha Rambova had been a silent movie star who had been married to Rudolph Valentino. She was his lesbian wife. And she loved the idea of having some mad lesbian movie star's bed. But anyway, it's incredible because it's all inlaid with mother of pearl and ebony. But the best part of this room is when I first met Cher, she'd come back from an Indian wedding, and on her hands, they had done henna, which is a great artwork they do in India, and especially for weddings. And so I photographed her hands and took it to my office, and we blew up the image, and we had stencils cut. And so the henna designs that were on her hands, I added to the silk on her walls, around the ceiling and around the baseboards. And that was all done with ground coffee beans and green iced tea. It's the only way you could get it to blend onto the silk.
Wow. That, only you. Yeah. I think we have time for a couple quick questions,
Yeah.
but for everyone in this room, what's your advice for designing a life, not just a home, filled with personality, full of love, purpose, and of course, humor?
Well, you said the one word, love. Love is the most important thing you can ever bring into a home. But decoratively is follow your heart. Follow what you love. Do not follow trends. Never try and keep up with the neighbors. Who cares about what they're doing? Follow what you love and go for it. Life is too short. I just lost a very dear friend on Sunday who died at the age of 57, shockingly, which is another lesson for us to learn, that we should do what we want when we want.
Amen.
So if you want a bright pink bathroom, go home and paint it. Life is too bloody short. So let's enjoy ourselves, spend all your money on decor, particularly here at ADAC, particularly at Paul Plus, and
on a bug.
And live, love, and decorate.
Do we have time?
I think we have time for maybe just two questions.
Two questions? Anyone? Anyone?
Okay.
Yep.
I'm really good.
There's a lady over there.
Because of the amount of passion and detail that's going into each project, how many are you able to do at once?
Well, normally we have about 12 projects running in my office throughout the course of the year, which vary in size. Right now I'm doing a 100,000 square foot palace in Egypt.
Egypt.
And we've got 14 projects on the go right now. Some are almost finished, some are just starting. So it's always this sort of evolution of things. It's kind of like a rolling wave. I really try not to have more than 10 or 12 a year, because otherwise, when people hire me, they hire me. Even though I've got a bunch of staff, I do the design, I take the meetings, I answer the phone calls, because they've put their trust and their money in me, and I want to be there for them. But if I have too many people, you can't do that. You start having to diffuse it.
I love that,
So-
because you hear celebrity clients and they never see you again.
And that's not what I do. By the way, I'm a control freak. I would never be able to do that. But,
Oh, weird.
But so that's why I try and keep it at that sort of a number. Yeah.
One more?
One more?
I won't bite, I promise.
All right.
Well, I might.
Going once. All right. You know what? I think this is time. Oh, okay. You know what? That's okay. All right. Hold on. Running in heels. I can do it. Keep this for you.
I love that. Such a great color.
So throughout your projects, there's just so many amazing, beautiful spaces that are very unique within one home. How do you think about that thread that ties those spaces together? Is it conscious? Do you just make it happen? Because certainly in your home too, like every space was so unique, but you could see that walking into each one, it was like still a part of the same whole.
I think color does that.
Yeah.
I think you should always, again, like in my home, there's so many mixtures of things from all over the place and different periods, and But I think there's a color thread that somehow you make it work. So for instance, you know, in my kitchen has the green and it flows into that little dining room where I actually took the walls down because I wanted it to be more kind of modern in a way. So there's green in the kitchen which flows a little bit into the dining room on the drapery. But then as you go into that dining room, there's a sofa that's covered in a sort of a deep burgundy wine color. But then when you look into my living room, I have a lacquered Carl Springer table in the same color. And so there's a connection that pulls the eye from space to space. So even though that one thing is from the 1940s and one thing is from the 1970s, and there's just this connection with the color that allows you to go, okay, these work, these rooms flow. And so I really believe that it's color that does that at the end of the day. So the other thing I really believe is that we have to honor architecture. So if you're in a 19th century house or a set 1970s house, whatever it is, you need to look at that and kind of give a nod to that somewhere along the way. I think if you suddenly put a bunch of Victorian furniture in a 1970s living room, it's weird. You've got to put a nod to the 70s somewhere that makes sense. So yeah, so those would be my things. I'm going to announce before we all go upstairs that first and foremost, I have absolutely loved being with you all and loved being part of the Modern Luxury family. And thank you so much for putting me on that cover. It's such a lovely cover, isn't it? My God. And so that has been really wonderful, and for that amazing support. I've been so lucky in my career to have had such incredible support from the press, which has been spectacular. And I'm going to announce to you today that on next Friday, we go out on YouTube with my new TV show called Live, Love and Decorate, funnily enough, which is a journey through some of the cities that I love the most in the world. And the show really talks about, you never know a city until you know the people that live in it. So in each of these wonderful cities, from Sydney to Tangier to Istanbul to Paris to London, we visit 5 or 6 great tastemakers, mostly friends of mine, everything from fashion designers to artists to interior designers to life coaches, people from all walks of life. We visit their homes and see why they've been inspired by where they live and how that city has helped shape them and their interiors. And then we show a fabulous place to stay, like a beautiful boutique hotel, and maybe it's something wonderful to do in that city, like in Paris, going to the Marché aux Puces, or in Istanbul to the Grand Bazaar. So it's been a passion project. It's really fun. It's kind of like Anthony Bourdain goes to the design center. So I hope you enjoy it, and
Where's
thank you again
streaming?
for coming. On YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
The only place to be these days. So thank you very much, Atlanta, for coming out to see me.
Thank you for